Hello, so this is the first video that I'm going to post on my new Facebook page and Instagram account. This is Jody. The point of this video is to kind of bring anybody who is following me or friends with me on Facebook up to speed to understand and know the first half of my journey. So my goal is to lose 100 pounds. I've lost 65 pounds in total, but I am back down to a total weight loss of about 55 pounds because I have gained about 10 pounds back towards the beginning, the earlier part of this year. So I'm working on getting those 10 pounds back off and continuing my journey. So the point of my new Facebook page and Instagram account is to document the second half of my journey. I have not documented at all my first 50 pounds of weight loss. I already regret it. So I've made a promise to myself that I will not lose any more weight without documenting it. I have a couple before and after pictures, but that's about it. So the point of this video, and bear with me because this is my first video, so there may be some crazy moments, my phone falling off the stand or whatever it is. This video will be probably the longest video that I ever post because, again, I just want to get everybody up to speed and give a little bit of background information for those people who I do not know or don't know very well that are Facebook friends or following me on Instagram. So here we go. As a child, I was a very active child. I know that's very cliche to say, but I was. I started baton twirling at 3 years old. I was a competitive baton twirler. My group competed in world competitions. We won 4 world titles as an individual baton twirler. I won numerous titles, starting at, I think I was 9 when I won my first Miss South Florida competition. As a young teenager and an older teenager, I won Miss Florida, and I actually at one point won the Southeast Regional Championships for individual baton twirling. In middle school, I was voted most athletic in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I played volleyball and softball. High school, I did the same. Volleyball, softball. I was major for our drill team. But once I graduated high school and adulthood started to kick in, I bought my first house in my early 20s. I was going to school full time, working full time, partying full time. My health was not an issue. Well, it was an issue, but it was not a priority for me. I do have some notes that I took, so I wanted to make sure I covered everything. So that's basically my childhood. So I was always a chubby child, but nothing major. Not until, like I said, adulthood kicked in, is to where 15 extra pounds turned into 50 extra pounds, 60 extra pounds, and so forth. Let's see. So I don't get too emotional. I lost my dad on August 7th, 2006. The night before he passed away, I was sitting on the floor in front of him as he was sitting in the chair with his oxygen mask on his face and his water bottle next to him. And I made a promise to him that I would not only lose weight, but I would get healthy. The next day, he passed away. Okay, not going to cry. We're over that part. December of 2008, I moved up to North Carolina. So after my dad passed away, we were a very small knit family, so it totally tore us all apart. We didn't know which way was up. My mom moved to North Carolina 2008 in December. I got a job opportunity that relocated me to North Carolina, to the mountains of North Carolina, so I took it. So from 2008 until I took another job in North Carolina at a local college in 2011. Nothing really happened in those years, physically. I was going through a huge internal change. With losing my dad, my heart was broken, my soul was broken, I was broken. So I could not function until I could get my mind and heart and soul somewhat back together after losing my dad. So that was my focus. So let's rewind to 2011 when I took the job at a community college up in North Carolina. One of the instructors that worked there was a biology instructor. I will refer to her throughout this as my sunshine because she was just that. She had a big part in bringing me back to life. up there. So she was everything I was not physically and mentally and emotionally. She was just carefree, was always happy. Physically, she played roller derby. She was doing CrossFit. She was an avid hiker. She was not a girly girl by any means. She didn't even paint her nails. How I even became friends with her, I don't know. She had also hiked the AT Trail, which is the Appalachian Trail that goes from Georgia to Maine. So she was pretty badass, and we clicked immediately. So she would come into my office and casually show me the things she did in CrossFit with her roller derby teammates. So she showed me burpees and showed me what an overhead squat was and a hand release push-up and weighted sit-ups, and here she is doing all this stuff on the floor of my office. I looked at her every time and thought, this chick is crazy. She's wasting her time, and it just never really interested me. We would talk about food and clean eating, and I couldn't comprehend any of that stuff. However, she did motivate me to the point of going and joining Curves. So Curves is a 30-minute station workout, I guess you'd call it. Anyways, so I joined Curves, and I would pack my bag in the morning, go to work. After work, I leave, go to Curves. I did that religiously for about a month. Don't think I lost any weight because I was still eating crap, which we will get to that part. But one day at Curves, it kind of just hit me. I looked around, and I was the youngest person there by 25 years. And that was the last day I went to Curves. That just embarrassed me for all the wrong reasons, but embarrassed me enough to not go to Curves anymore. So I told my sunshine this, and she just, oh, you should, that's when the CrossFit talk started. You should come and meet Daryl and his wife. Rugged Fit was the name of the place. And I just constantly told her, you don't understand. I can't do any of this stuff. It's not like I don't want to. I know I could not do any of this stuff. Didn't matter. Every day this chick came in my office and told me that I should go do this CrossFit stuff with her. And, oh, they'll cater to you and they'll cater the workouts to... No, there's no catering to me because I can't do any of it. So probably it got to the point where I agreed to go and watch her or go talk to the trainer to shut her up. So I decided to meet her at the gym. And please remember, this is in the mountains of North Carolina. So when I say gym, that's far stretch of the word. It was in the basement of actually another gym, like a Gold's gym or something. And there was like a metal garage door I had to walk through, and there were no windows in it. Of course, there was no air conditioning, and there were a couple lights in there, and that was it. So Daryl, the trainer, was training my sunshine and a couple of her roller derby friends. So I met with his wife. We went into a back room with her two dogs jumping on me. And we were talking about, and of course I got the standard lecture of, oh, we can, cater CrossFit to your abilities, blah, 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 blah. I was really just there to shut my friend up so she would stop coming in my office every day and driving me crazy. So when I left there, I got in my car, and something struck a nerve because I literally sat in my car and in the parking lot and started to bawl hysterically. I'll never forget that day. I think I just felt so hopeless. Like, I'm not sure if, I don't really know. I was just so hopeless. So let's stop there for a second. What was I eating? Let's talk about that for a second, because that will kind of clarify the feeling of hopelessness. Long story short, I ate fast foods. In my refrigerator at home, I would have cans of Coca-Cola, a gallon of whole milk, cans of Yoo-Hoo, and probably a bottle of Gatorade. And that was about it. That was it as far as drinks. We won't even go into the food, because in my pantry, everything was either boxed or bagged. There was no fresh anything. I could easily go to Walmart, go down the aisles of Walmart, and just fill up my pantry with boxed mac and cheese, potato chips, stuff like that. Let's talk about health for a second. My health was out of control. I was obese at this point, and chronic diarrhea. I just had severe digestive issues. I no longer went out to eat because anytime that I ate anything, 5-10 minutes later, I'd immediately be in the bathroom. So I no longer went out to eat. My fast food of choice was good old Mickey D's. For breakfast, I would have the sausage, egg, and cheese bagel meal with a large Coke. For lunch, I would have some other fast food because I would go into the city of Boone, which is where the college was, and there was everything. Taco Bell, Popeyes, Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, whatever. So I just would have my little circle of choices, and I would eat that for lunch. And then on the way home, I would swing by my McDonald's and get the number 3, which is quarter pounder meal with extra cheese, large fries, and large Coke. And that was my dinner. So no wonder I was tearing myself up inside. So now let's get to back to the whole CrossFit thing. So my sunshine, my friend, had told the trainer about me. I went and met them, felt hopeless, so I'm crying in the parking lot. So 2 days later, at work, my friend comes into my office and says that Rugged Fit closed down. So I immediately was happy. I was like, oh, thank God I dodged that bullet. So a couple more weeks went by. Nothing changed. I ate like crap, didn't do anything. And the only thing different is that my friend no longer came into my office to show me what she did for a workout that day. However, she was doing other stuff, of course, running, jogging, hiking, and stuff like that. I could care less. So a couple of weeks went by, and then I believe I got a text message from my sunshine and told me Rugged Fit has found a new place, and she told me where it was going to be, and it actually was in a little city or a little town that I had to drive through to get to and from work. I remember her telling me this, and it kind of excited me. I was like, okay, well, that kind of knocks off the biggest excuse that most everybody has as far as not working out is I don't have time. Well, I literally had to drive by this new place to get to work and drive by. I mean, it was on the side of the road that I took to work, so there was no longer an excuse. So I'm not really sure how, even to this day, I don't remember at all, how my sunshine and the trainer talked me into going to work out by myself nonetheless, because this place had just opened. It was by no means a normal CrossFit box. This new place was on the second floor of an old house in the middle of nowhere in the mountains of North Carolina. So one thing I will never forget is the first day there, I parked in front. There was about 12 steps you had to walk up. By the time I got to the top of the steps, the front door of the gym opened. It was Daryl, the trainer, and he had the biggest smile I've ever seen on somebody's face and greeted me by saying, "What's up, homie?" I fell in love with him at that moment. He was exactly what I needed. Sorry. It's just crazy how certain people can be placed into your life at the right time. So it was me and this one other guy. I don't even remember his name. He was an older gentleman, also overweight, but his weight was like a beer gut overweight, whereas my weight was fat everywhere. That day in the workout, we had to do sit-ups, which was probably one of the first things that we did that day, I think. And I remember laying there on my back with my feet on the ground and attempting to do a sit-up. And I probably got my shoulders, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches off the ground, and that was it. So before I even knew it or realized it, the trainer, Daryl, had come over to me and put his knees on my feet and stretched out his arm between my legs and told me to grab his arm. And as I tried to do a sit-up, he would use his arm to pull me up. I'm sorry, I'm crying. That was the day that I fell in love with CrossFit. That was the day that I never looked back. That was the day that started it all for me. The fact that he made me not feel embarrassed or ashamed was the biggest reason why I probably never started this beforehand. So, let's see, where am I at on my notes? So from there, I mean, I really realized how CrossFit could easily be catered to your abilities and to your strengths, even when you think that you don't have any. Over the next couple months, I was introduced to the barbell, which I had never lifted in my life. And I immediately fell in love with that as well. I wanted to know everything as far as how to stand or how to hold it and how to lift it and what they were called. Now, I wanted to know, but I can never grasp all of it, because if you know anything about CrossFit, it's all kinds of tricky terminology. But yeah, I mean, that's how I started my physical transformation. So yeah, I fell in love with CrossFit. I was going every single day after work. I could not wait. When I would leave CrossFit, I would drive through McDonald's and get my quarter-pounder meal and have it for dinner. So little by little, Daryl and his wife Heather never pushed me as far as my eating, because I was too focused on trying to stay committed to the physical part of it. But between the trainers and my little sunshine, they kind of educated me and helped me make tiny changes. So instead of eating a sausage, egg, and cheese bagel meal from McDonald's, I would make a sausage, egg, and cheese bagel sandwich at my house. I got on to lean cuisine frozen meals. The point of all of this was to get me away from fast foods. Even if the foods I was eating instead may not, I look back now, and were not healthy choices by any means, but it was about breaking that habit of going through that drive-through. Another huge habit that I had to break was the soda, because I lived off of it. I craved it, and that's all I ever drank. How I broke that habit is a funny story. So at the college I was working at, the campus director was retiring after 20-some years, and she wanted to throw a going away party for the staff instead of the staff throwing a retirement party for her. So she had this local barbecue restaurant cater for us, and to drink they had gallons of sweet tea and lemonade. That lemonade was the most amazing lemonade I ever had in my life. Nothing but pure sugar, but it was delicious. So I had asked the lady who was there catering the food if they sold the lemonade to the public, or if that was just something you could get through catering. She said, "Oh no, you can get them by the gallon. They're $5.99 a gallon." So that day, I went to the barbecue place and bought 3 gallons of that lemonade, brought it home. Well, long story short, I started drinking that lemonade constantly instead of the soda. So a couple weeks would go by, and I hadn't bought any soda. The cans of soda were still in the refrigerator. Now, again, that lemonade was by no means healthy, and it was just as sugary as a soda, but it was about breaking that habit. I no longer wanted soda. I wanted that lemonade. So over a couple weeks, I just started thinking, in addition to continuing training at Rugged Fit, I started thinking, wow, this lemonade is technically water with a ton of sugar and flavoring in it, but it's water. So as I continued to work out at Rugged Fit, and I think as I got the soda out of my system, my body started craving water. When I was working out, I wanted water. So little by little, those gallons of lemonades started lasting a little bit longer, and I found myself with bottles of water in the fridge. So that's kind of how I transitioned to soda. Now, don't get me wrong, I still will crave a soda. I went to the movie yesterday and had a large soda for $5.50, which is ridiculous. But once a month, I don't feel guilty having a soda. So long story short, things worked out up there. I moved to Jacksonville Beach in March of 2014. And really most important to me of moving to Jax Beach was finding a CrossFit place. So as I traveled down here from North Carolina to go on some job interviews, while I was down here, I was checking out CrossFit places. So I ended up at a CrossFit place in Jax Beach called CrossFit Black Hive. And the first time I went there, I met one of the trainers there. And again, fell in love with him. He was amazing. Then I went back another time when I think actually when I moved down here, physically moved down here, I went in and met with the owner there, fell in love with him too. So I started the 6 a.m. classes there. The trainers that were there, or the coaches that were there, are no longer there. But there probably couldn't have been better coaches there for me when I started at that time. One of my fondest memories there was one of the coaches, Coop. Jogging is not my thing, let alone jogging, carrying a damn weighted medicine ball. So one of the warm-ups was to do a 200-meter jog carrying a weighted med ball, and I had an 8-pound med ball, and I actually, when I say jog, I mean you could probably walk faster than my jog, but it was jogging to me. But I did the whole 200 meters without stopping. And as I cut that corner and started heading back, my coach is out there screaming and hollering and couldn't wait for me to get there to put the med ball down, and gave me a big, huge hug that I accomplished a 200-meter run. So again, the trainers aren't there that were there, but at that time, the trainers that were there were perfect for me at my first real CrossFit place. So here I am. Once I joined Black Hive, I got hooked up with a nutritionist there, or a lady who helps with nutrition, and she had her hands full when we started working together. We tried a couple different things that didn't work because I fought with her like something serious. Fought with her about everything. So her and I let me rephrase that. She decided that the best way for me to do this whole clean eating thing was cold turkey. So we did a 30-day challenge, 100% cold turkey. Clean eating all the way. So how we did it is every meal or anything that I put in my mouth for food, I would take a picture and send it to her, and she would critique it. More this, less that. What is that? Why are you eating that? Don't do that. So 30 days, it was absolutely miserable. It was terribly hard, but we did it and ended up with a 15-pound weight loss in 30 days. And it kind of like set things on fire inside of me as far as, wow, I feel amazing. So here we are. I think today's May 1st, 2016. So what my schedule is now is I do WODs 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I have a personal trainer that I'm working with now, and she sends me accessory work and cardio work to do 3 times at night, in addition to my WODs during the day. Saturday, for the last couple months, my best friend and I, one of my best friends and I, have been going on hikes, about 5-mile hikes every Saturday at different locations. And Sunday tends to be my rest day. As far as food, Somebody, I don't remember who it was, summed clean eating up for me one time, and it always kind of stuck with me. If it comes from the earth or if it has a mother, that pretty much sums up clean eating. I'm not sure if I could go back to eating how I did before, because how I feel now physically with my health is amazing. Before I moved from North Carolina, I had a colonoscopy. I was early 30s, had a colonoscopy. I was being tested for Crohn's disease and celiac disease, because nobody could really figure out what was wrong with me, because my colonoscopy luckily came back, clean and negative of, anything major. But all the fast food had literally tore up my intestines. So it was just inflammation and irritation is what was causing all of my digestive and bowel problems. So now that I eat clean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I take no medications. I never have taken medications. But it's crazy how clean eating can make all the difference in the world. So again, I guess that's about it for this post. This post was just to kind of bring you guys up to speed. Again, I apologize it is so long. I will not post another video this long, but I just felt this was the easiest way to kind of, especially people that don't know me, kind of bring you up to speed as to my obstacles and my challenges and how I have become obsessed with CrossFit. So I think that's going to be it. Let me check my notes. There's a lot of other things that I want to talk about, which I'll get into in other videos as far as mental challenges and stuff like that. But like I said, the point of this video was just to get kind of everybody up to speed to understand where I started as to where I am now. So that's it, and thanks for watching.